The views expressed are solely those of the individuals providing them and do not reflect the opinions of the Team Pase podcast or their respective affiliates or sponsors.
Pase.
Wagwan.
What's up, world? Welcome to another episode of Team Pase podcast. My name is Glad.
And I'm your boy Rob. We are your favorite Team Pase podcast show where we interview great entrepreneurs from all sectors of industry. Remember, subscribe, share, comment below. Subscribe, share, comment below.
No doubt. No doubt.
Right.
Yo, we've got a great guest for you guys today. We're talking about business funding, credit cards, all of that stuff. We had multiple people on here talking about business credit, but this person that we have on, she's going to share a few more gems that y'all didn't even know about. We met this young lady, and she's a very high energetic person, dope energy, dope spirit. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Shedah.
That's how she really.
Every time.
What's up?
That's what's up.
Every time.
What's going on? Don't act shy now. You got the energy. I know you do. You got a lot of gems. We're gonna talk about it. What's going on with you?
We gonna go ahead and build into it. You know what
No
I'm saying?
doubt.
It's the new crew.
It was great meeting you a couple weeks ago. You know, you definitely give us a little credit card hack right there. You know, on set, and we're gonna talk about it for sure.
Definitely.
Thank
you for having me.
No
I'm
doubt.
excited.
No doubt,
We're excited, man.
We just saw you in ATL doing your thing. We're gonna talk about your versus thing too, but we just saw you at a conference.
Yes,
talk about that
man.
conference.
Yes, I was at the credit summit. My boy, the credit hero, had one, and I'm always naturally. You guys know I'm a teacher. I teach 7th grade math every single day to your middle schoolers. Pray for me, all right?
In Brooklyn,
East Flatbush, all right. And I love to teach, right? And there's a lot of misinformation and lack of information in our community, and I just love to teach the efficient way of doing things because we do things for the longest so incorrectly. I don't want to say wrong. We just don't know the right first step. That I'm making it my mission to make sure that I teach it just like I do currently in my classroom. So I was just excited to go out there and just teach them, credit efficiency, teach people how to leverage their credit to actually, travel for free and do things that they're already doing, but get a benefit for it.
Nice. So let's get into it. Like that's how we like to start off the show because. Okay, business funding, business credit. How did you even get into this? Because you're a 7th grade math teacher, right?
Yes.
How did you get into credit?
So I tell people all the time, right? You either one of my mentors say, when the student is ready, the teacher shall appear, right? So you either are ready to learn it or something happens and you're forced to learn it. So in that case, I was a latter. I was forced to learn it. I actually, this is probably like my 2nd year teaching, I'm making good money. I'm Jamaican, you know what I'm saying? Wagwan. So I'm working I'm working 2 jobs, you know what I'm saying? Because, Caribbeans, especially Jamaicans, it's one job is no, you're lazy. So I had my 2 jobs. I was working 14, 16 hours a day, and I was making okay money, you know what I'm saying? So I wanted to get a house. Go through the whole process. They go through my TransUnion and Equifax credit report. They pre-approved me for $750,000 based on the information that I gave them. Everything, tax returns, pay stubs, everything, right? I didn't know I had my Experian profile locked. When I say I didn't know, I don't know how it happened. I really don't.
Locked?
It was locked. Apparently, I locked it in the app. And I said it was probably I was playing with it or something, but I didn't fully understand that I could lock it. So they didn't see my Experian profile. And because of that, she pre-approved me on those 2 credit reporting agencies for the $750,000. She said I needed to unlock the experience so they could see it to fully approve me and give me the letter. So I unlock it, they go back and see it, and she goes, "Oh no, we're gonna have to decline you." I'm like, "What?" This is crazy. That's not a sexy thing to say to somebody. Like, I'm gonna decline you. You hurt my feelings. I thought, and you get to that point, you start explaining your story. You get declined.
What happened was
exactly right. Like they don't care about that.
My debit and my credit.
It took 3 days and then hit the transfer. You're like, I worked 2 jobs.
Right,
they don't care about your story. They just care about the report. So come to find out, I had a timeshare that I had purchased years before that. I had paid a lawyer that I thought fought to remove it, and it came up as a foreclosure on my report. Now, it didn't matter that it was for like an $8,000 timeshare. It's just that it had that foreclosure on there. And when you have a foreclosure, you can't get a mortgage for like 3 years. Did I know that? No. Did I know the foreclosure was there? No. So guess what? I'm on the path now.
Trying to
figure out how to get it off and try to figure out where did I go wrong. So, I mean, that's really how I got into credit, because the first thing that happened was me. Now, if I didn't say anything to anybody and I kind of kept to myself, I would have still just been in that puddle of shame. Like, dang, I got declined. She told me, you know what I'm saying? But I told her, I'd be working hard, And you start trying to defend your actions to yourself. But it's like, really just, you have a problem, go figure out how to fix it. And once you're able to fix it, then you can go ahead and move on to those next journeys in life. But that's literally how I got started. I missed out on $750,000. Every time I think about it, I get sick. But that's really what got me started on my journey, was that first no.
And how long ago was that?
That was in COVID got me jacked up. 2017?
2017.
This was a house in New York?
I was looking in New York, but it didn't matter, because based on what I gave her, they pre-qualified me for $750. So I could have got something in New York, Jersey, Queens. It was just for the area I was in. Okay. I was looking in Brooklyn, but I mean, at that, I was sad. I was sad.
So okay, so did you ended up getting it fixed or removed?
It took me some time, because now, like, credit was still like I said, in our community, the myths of credit spread faster than the truth. So a lot of things that I was asking people around me who also didn't fully understand credit. So they're like, what, you got this, you got that? Oh, you just call them up and just tell them the story, and it just come off. I'm like, what are y'all talking? And I tried it too, right? I tried it, and I'm like, what is going on? And I had to go deep dive and really learn, like, hey, like, okay, if there's derogatory items, there are ways I can remove things off my credit profile. There are things that I can do to help myself, and I can become self-sufficient. But I literally tied my whole journey down to the first no, like. Okay. And I'll say this, that people are afraid of that first rejection, because that didn't feel good. But I mean, look where we are right now. You know what I'm saying? Team Pase Pase.
No doubt. So when did the journey of teaching how to get business credit and funding start for you?
So I'll say it happened in two different segments. Okay. All right. So when I played for Marshall University collegiate basketball. I would play women's basketball, like, I'm not gonna age myself, but back in 2008, right? I got a full scholarship to play for Marshall University. Go Hurt, I'm saying. And my assistant head coach looked at me and she said, Rashedah, I feel like you'll be the only person to follow up on this. I'm like, okay. So she goes, every time we travel, I want you to make sure that you connect your personal frequent flyer account to your ticket that the school pays for. So I said,
she just randomly said
we were at the airport, and she literally, I to this day, I'm like, yo, she must have saw something, or that was God just trying to like tell me something. But she literally said, Rashedah, I feel like you'll be the only person, quote unquote, you'll be the only person to follow up with this. And that day I said, okay, fine. And I went that night. I had the ticket stub for the flight we just took. I went in our away game profile, and I went on the schedule, and I looked at every time we flew for an away game, and I literally took those dates down. I called up American Airlines, because that was where we flew most frequently, and I found all the dates that we flew for the past 6 months, and they went and backdated all my miles into my account. So every flight we took for the past 6 months got put now into my personal frequent flyer account, because it doesn't matter who pays for the ticket. Your name is on it. You want to manifest. You in the seat. Them your miles. So that was. I say there's two reasons why I got started teaching it. Oh, now see, a gem, right? Shout out to Coach White.
We just started. Okay.
I had no idea.
Yeah, so you can backdate it 6 months. So I went back 6 months. I went from having like 0 miles to like having like 20, 30,000 over in 30 minutes. Now my teammate was there. She told me this information. I told my teammate. She had the same schedule as us. We was on the same phone. I said, you gonna call him too? She was like, nah, I feel like being on the phone for 45 minutes. And that's why I get upgraded all the time now. Because I'll be on the phone for 45 minutes for some free stuff. Like, you're going to give me that.
Just patience.
Just patience. So I would say I started there. So ever since, for my whole collegiate career, and this is for, we're going to talk about credit, all of that. For any college athlete right now, if your team is flying commercial and you are not syncing your frequent flyer miles to that account, you are not running the play correctly. Okay, now back to the episode. So that happened back in this is 2008. So my whole college career, I stacked my miles. And I was always intrigued by it because every time I flew somewhere with my parents or they bought me a ticket, somehow I was in economy and I was in first. Somehow it translated. You couldn't sweet talk your way. It just kept happening. And I found out later that I had the highest status with American Airlines because we flew like 14, 15 times a year, and it was always a box. Like we went around the southern U.S. So, and that was for free. But besides the times when I would fly home or fly somewhere with my family, so that got me started. It got me interested, right? And then when I messed up my credit, it got me more interested when I realized, damn, I really been missing out. Like Coach White gave me the sauce. She didn't tell me all of it, but she gave me enough, a little bite. And now, damn, I messed up, but how can I fix this problem? And then now, because I was able to fix this problem and I started talking to people around me about my problems, come to find out, you got bad credit, you got issues, and it's like, I was all keeping this a secret. So it wasn't until I opened my big old mouth and said like, something up in my profile, y'all wasn't gonna say nothing, and guess what started happening? Oh, you fix your problem, you can fix mine too, shit. I'm like, I got you, man.
That's how it started.
Exactly how it started. And because I started to understand it a lot better, I would literally I could probably go in my phone to a FaceTime class. It was 5 of us on a FaceTime, and I was going over a credit report. Now, besides the fact that I teach 7th graders math now, and I always integrate finances into my classes, I had adults like we 18 to 35 on a FaceTime call, going over a credit report, going over the 5 components of your credit score. Like, and we're doing it on FaceTime. It wasn't Zoom. Wow. We was on FaceTime. And they're like, Shedah, you should. And I'm like, all right, I wasn't paying them no mind. Like, I ain't teaching money no credit.
So were you always into teaching? Like teaching when when Rashedah was young and she...
Funny enough, and I say this to people, I'm like, you manifest stuff in your life. My dad was clean. My dad redid his basement, and he found one of my old books. And in the book, it literally said, I want to be a math teacher. Wow. And I wrote it when I was 12.
That's crazy.
I could find that dusty asbestos filled book now.
Wow. Wow.
Promise you. Real manifestation. Incredible. I also manifested my scholarship. But I did work my butt off for it. Faith without work is dead. I did bust my butt for that scholarship. But I'm a big proponent of speaking life into yourself because I've literally seen it where I did it when I was 12, 14, 16, Good even now.
That's what's up.
So a teacher, my mom is a natural teacher, and I've always been the type of person, if I can do it, execute on it, I'll teach it, and it just helps me to reinforce my personal skill. So me teaching is like a selfless thing. Because if I teach you, I get better at it, but you also do. So iron sharpens iron in that capacity.
Wow. So let's get into this. Business credit, personal credit. Give us some of the life hacks that can make life easier using credit.
All right, so I pretty much teach credit in this way every time I do it. It's where you start. So the life motto, it's not where you start, it's where you finish. No. In credit, it's where you start. You want to always make sure you're starting your transactions the right way. What do I mean by that? Where does the transaction begin? What do you use? A debit card? Kick it. Cash? COVID. Like credit? Yes. Because that transaction, if I spend it with my credit card, I might get 3-4 times the points than if I spend cash, which I get nothing. If I spend my debit card, I get nothing. Why am I talking about points? Because I always look at financial relationships like a two-way street. If it's not a two-way street, I'm not in that conversation. If it's a one-way street, that's a debit card. I'm not in that either. It needs to be give and take. If I spend my money, I should be getting back something in return, just something. If it's even the bubble gum, like give me back something. So when it comes to it, it's where you start. Now, I teach people how to start their transactions the correct way. Which credit card relationships are the best to have, depending on what you're trying to do. I'm a traveler. I like to be on the go. I like to move. I like to do it for less money as well. So a lot of times I'll pull up my Amex Gold card when I go to the gas station and when I pay for dinner. Right? Why? Because if I do that, American Express will give me 4 times the points on that $1 that I'm spending. So, but you might spend it, not saying you're going to do this, but you might pay cash for dinner and you just paid cash. It's all you got back. They gave you nothing else. They just gave you thanks for coming. Here's this chocolate mint. And that's it. Right? But when I paid for it, they gave me the chocolate mint. They gave me that good service. And then American Express also compensated me for shopping with them. So now I can take those points that accumulate over time, just like those miles did when I was in college. And I can take that and put it towards a flight. I can put it towards a hotel. I can even put it towards my bill that I'm already gonna have anyway. Now that's not the best use of my miles, but you have options. But when you use financial relationships or institutions that have one-way streets, you reduce the amount of options that you have in the future. Like I could really tell you and go through some of my community how many people have said, Shedah, I've literally had a situation where I needed to fly somewhere or I needed family to come in for an emergency, and if it was money, they wouldn't have came. But because I had the options of all these points I've been accumulating, I was able to pay for their flight, pay for their hotel, and now the least thing we had to worry about was the money. It was now let's deal with the actual reason why you're here. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing, man. It's just literally where you start, and then you'll finish later, trust me.
Why is our culture so this has been around for years, forever, but people like you are, you're like, thank God for like social media, and thank God for people like yourself, just translating this into our brains now, like, but a lot of people are afraid of credit. Like, where did that trauma come from? Like, because growing up in my household, credit was like, you don't want that many credit cards. You don't want this. I'm in college. They're right there. They got the table set up. They sign you up. They know you're going to spend it. They know you're not going to pay it back. They're betting on you not to pay it back. But it was the norm. Like, don't get that many credit cards because credit is bad. Credit is bad. But now it's shifting. But that credit bad part, like, it's like, where did that come from?
So credit is bad comes from mismanagement of money. That's really what it is. You don't trust yourself with the dollar you have. So when you get more, you're like, oh, I have more to spend, but you don't even have enough to cover what you did spend. So it's because we try to live our lives through a lens of others instead of seeing ourselves for who we really are. So if I only have $100, I'm not gonna spend $1,000. I don't have it. But if you get that credit card with the $1,000 limit, all of a sudden you got new shoes. How? You couldn't afford it when you had the cash. So it's really just a mismanagement of money, because credit itself, in a actual definition of the word, is a positive thing. Technically, debit is a negative connotation to a word. When my kids have a math problem, if your account got credited, that's addition. If your account got debited, that's subtraction, right? So we've turned it because we mismanage money. Now, I teach credit and I teach people how to leverage it to help their lives be better, have access to different things and give yourself options. But I always start off with budgeting, because we mismanage money in our community. If you don't have a budget, then how you gonna know how much money you have to actually go? I could get you a $30,000 credit card. And if you have no way how to use it, or you don't know how to create cash flow, you don't know how to create a business, all you know how to do is spend, you will spend that $30,000 and be worse than you were. And I'm not in the business of putting people in worse financial situations. So it's like, it really is a mismanagement, because we have a scarcity in our community. We're scared to lose. So the credit card company is betting on you to rack up the credit card and pay interest. But are you betting on yourself not to do that? Like, it's really self-control. The credit card don't walk to the store. You carry it in your wallet. You do several actions to pay.
Right.
You carry it in your wallet, you take it out, you put it down, you sign for it, then you put it back in your wallet. You did all of that. So if you don't have any control, do you know what's crazy that you say this? Literally yesterday, somebody said to me, oh, shit, I should never got that Apple Card. I said, why? You had no profile. They gave you $5,000. Oh, I spent it. I said, nobody told you to buy a Gucci diaper bag.
Wow.
Who told you to do that? The baby can't even spell Gucci. Who are you trying to impress? Who was the bag for? Was the bag really for the baby? Was the bag for you to show off that you have a Gucci diaper bag for your child? Because it was not for the child. You could have bought a bag from Bobby's, and you could have bought 50 bags from Bobby's.
Yeah, Bobby is lit.
If you're not from New York,
you're not from New York, not from weekend, you don't know
Brooklyn, Flatbush, whatever.
Exactly. Utica.
Yeah.
Nah, it's true. It's true. Like, I mean, that right there, it says a lot. It's all about discipline.
It's discipline. It really is.
But they know the average 18-year-old, they're gonna be like, hey, here's $2,500. I know when I was in college, I got my first credit card. It said $1,500.
You went crazy?
I went straight to the Nike factory store.
So let's talk about that, because Rob talks about Raul talks about
Swiping,
discipline.
no swiping.
What are some things? What are some ways that you need to be disciplined when having a credit card?
So I have a four account rule when it comes to budgeting.
A 4-account rule.
4-account rule.
All right, break it down first.
Your first account. Don't judge me, okay? Don't judge me. If you do, I don't care. I told my 7th graders this. 4-account rule, right? You have your expense account. That expense account is where all your expenses come out of. So anything that you have to pay for your household, it comes out of that account, right? If it's rent, water, light, cell phone, anything, even your credit card bills. That mainly is going to probably be the highest. Most of your check or your salary is going to go into that account. Then you have your savings account, right? You can make that anywhere between 10 to 15% of what you have left. Then you have your investing account, right? We have 1, 2, 3. Investing account. That means that's an account that you put money in. It could be the same amount or same percentage, 10 to 15%. And that's what you invest. It could be in your future education. It could be in stocks. It could be in real estate. It could be in anything that you choose that's going to be an investment tool that should create cash flow for you. And the last one, which is the fun one that everybody wants to have, is your ratchet account, right? Get ratchet with your friends, right? You love that, right? And I never ever tell people to budget and restrict their behavior because you know those Pastor kids back in the day when they never had fun, when they went out, they was the drunkest ones in the party.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
right.
the same thing. It's the same thing, right? PKs, yeah. No, we love y'all though, right? You know the PKs.
So then so you're saying 10% is not
You
because
could
the
do-
average, like you pay yourself first 10%.
It's however, I don't know what your expenses are, so I never tell people like, oh, stick to this 10-10-10 rule, 30-30. Like it's whatever is manageable for you, because if you can't manage it, you'll be the first one to break your own rule.
True.
So you have to do it and then dictate it to what you can structure yourself and what you can discipline yourself to do. So I tell people always put money aside for fun, because if you don't, you'll dip into your expenses, you'll dip into your savings, you'll dip into your investing because you didn't allocate for it. But now since you allocated for it, if there's brunch and you know you allocated 15% or whatever, and that's $300. And now brunch $50. Okay, I got $250 left. Brunch $75. Okay, I have this much left. Brunch $100. Okay, I might only have $75 left. So now it might be week 2 in a month. You done brunched it up 3 times. Can you afford the next brunch? Now you might have to start saying some no's. You might have to say, all right, you know what? I'm gonna go to the next one. Or maybe you want to, all right, I want to go on vacation in 3 months, so I'm not going to brunch it up, because now you have a budget to follow. But then that also helps when you start paying your credit cards. You're not spending more because my expense account is only $1,000 or $1,500 or $2,000. So if I spend $3,000 on a credit card, who's covering that? That's my whole expenses. I still got to pay my rent. I still got to pay my light bill, my cell phone bill. I put gas in my car. I got to pay my insurance. You still have all these things you got to do when you racked up $3,000 on the credit card.
What's the utilization like? Talk about that when it comes to certain credit cards.
So I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all, and if you actually, I'm gonna give y'all activity. You got your phone?
No. Go ahead. Last time I got. No, I'm just kidding. Because I was talking about the last.
Oh
time
yeah, right.
We're gonna do that too. The credit card. We gotta talk about that.
I gotta show you. So go into whatever. I don't even care what bank account you have, right? I'm gonna tell you guys something, and a lot of people don't realize it. Every account you has a reporting date. Every account, whether it's a credit card, whether it's your car note, whether it's your insurance, whether it's your bank account, cell phone, cable, they have a date that they print your bill, right? So if I know that for like even like a bank account,
Statement and documents.
open it. Bank account, they have a statement date. Then they say your reporting balance of the bank account as of blah, and they'll show you like a balance, like your statement balance ending date. So it say, what's today? The 13th. Ooh, say today is like the 15th, right?
Talk about that. Yep.
Say today's the 15th. If on the 15th you have your statement closes and you have $8,000 in the account, it's gonna print off your statement and say that you have $8,000 in the account. Now on the 16th, you could have took everything out. But that statement bill says that at the end of the statement, you have $8,000. That's your bank account. Now let's take it to a car note.
Okay.
Every month they print your car note off, and they have a date that they print the car note off and say you owe this. If you had paid, if I paid off that balance before that date, so say it was the 21st. If I paid off that balance before that, when they print off the bill, it's not gonna say I owe anything. It's gonna say my principal balance. Now go to credit card. The same thing. Same rule applies. Credit card, you have a statement balance, the day that they print off the report, and I always call it the snitch date, the day that you tell on yourself, right? Every month at the same time. It's for every account I just told you. They print it off at the same time every month and tell you what your current billing is looking like. So for the credit card, they tell you, okay, like one of mine is the 10th of the month. So every 10th of the month, I know that they're going to print off my bill, and whatever balance I have on that day, on the 10th, it don't matter if it's January, February, March, April, May, June, July. What come after July? August, September. I'm a math teacher, y'all. I don't do this grammar stuff, right? So it don't matter which month it is. It's if my credit limit is 10,000 and I got 5,000 balance on that credit card, I'm at 50% utilization because on the 10th I had $5,000 balance. Now, if on the 10th, the next month I have a $2,000 balance out of a $10,000 limit, I have 20%. If on the next month I have it at $1,000, I'm at 10%. If I balance it out to zero on April 10th, then I said 10th, April 10th, then I'm at 0%. But it's whatever the balance is on the 10th. On the 11th, the balance could have been maxed out at $10,000. I'm never suggesting you to do that, but it could have been. But because on the 10th, when they went to snitch on me, it said 5,000 or 2,000 or 1,000. That's my reporting balance, and that's what will count for my utilization. So that's how you're able to actually dictate what your credit score will look like because you control all those factors. You control what the balance is, and that's why I preach heavy on a budget. I tell people like, yo, do your budget twice a month. Do your budget every time you get paid. Every time you get paid, allocate your dollars. Because in our community, we don't allocate it. You get a check, it goes, all your money going to one account, and what you end up doing. Oh, I got money, y'all, let's go. But come on, you really don't. You really might only have 15% of your check to have fun with. But did you allocate your funds correctly? Did you sit down and do a budget? A budget, it don't sound sexy, right? It's not. It don't make you holler. But it's the most important thing when you're, especially when you're beating back limiting beliefs. It's the most important thing you have to do in order to get yourself ahead. Because the moment you take control of your finances, that's when I felt most financially free. It's not when I had the most amount of credit and most amount of cash in my account. It's when I had the most control about what was coming in and what was coming out. Now I'm in business. I'm doing a lot of different things. My money flows too quickly. I still do my budget twice a month. It takes me 3 hours.
Wow. So you do your budget yourself?
Yeah. You got to know where your money's going.
You got to know where the money's going.
But I felt when I first started, them first 6 months, I felt so much. And you couldn't tell me to spend $1 nowhere I didn't want to. If I didn't want lunch that day, I was not spending lunch. If I brought $10 with me, I was only spending $10. Probably $9.99. I want to bring that penny home and put it in the bank. I was that in control.
Here's a question for you. Like, how many credit cards should a person should have? I mean, because we're talking about credit here. Traditionally, like how much credit cards should a person should have? And let's say they have a spending limit of, or their credit card is a $5,000 credit or $10,000 credit card. How much of that utilization can they use, or a percentage of that funds can they use? This is a 2-part question.
All right. So how many credit cards should somebody have? I tell people this all the time.
Traditionally, best practice.
You want to have at least 3.
At least 3.
If you can't manage 3, then have 1. Don't max yourself out. But you want to have at least 3 because it shows diversity, right? And it shows that you're able to handle. Now, do you have to keep all 3 like completely active? No. You could have one and have like a Netflix bill on subscription, have it on auto pay it off to 0. Just have some type of activity on the credit card. I wouldn't say let a credit card sit dormant too long because they will close it for inactivity. And the last thing you want is an old credit card, like, a grandfather John credit card. Not John. Give me like an old grandfather name, like Winfred, right? Like, you don't want that credit card to close because you just forgot to put something on it. You forgot to swipe it every couple of months because they like to see activity. So I would say 3. The oldest card, just keep something on auto pay small. Something just put on auto pay $10, $50 just so that it's there. Something you're already paying. If you have a small subscription, put it on auto pay, let it pay off. So that's the first part. 3 minimum. But if you can't handle 3, then have 2. But if you can handle 3, that's good enough. The second part was utilization. Typically, the rule of thumb is typically 30%, but 30% is just so that your score doesn't tank. But the real boost you will see is around below 10. So if you have a $10,000 limit, you really don't want to snitch on yourself for more than $1,000. So if your statement date, and you can call up and ask them, you can either do it on your phone. Most of the, actually on my IG page, I went through I think maybe 6 banks and showed you where to find the statement date on the bill. So right now people are still sending me statement dates. Their bill so I could find their statement date and make a video on it. But you can literally either call the bank and ask them, hey, what's my closing date? What's my reporting date? They have to tell you. They can't keep a secret from you. And now you can dictate, okay, I'm going to make sure that I pay my bill off right before that date so that it reports low so my credit score can always go up. That's literally something you can do every month to manage and maintain, because utilization is 30% of your score. So that's anywhere between like 180 points that you're not going to get if you're running your card up 80% every single month. If every month you snitch on yourself at 80%, that's like, come on.
That's another gem right
interesting.
there.
Yeah, because I know at one point I was kind of like going by, I learned this a while ago, where you can pay, like let's say your credit card is due on the 1st. So I would pay like on the 15th of the prior month, like 15 days prior to the 1st. And then 7 days, like I'll pay, let's say,
I heard that too.
You know, like if your minimum balance is like $100 or whatever, you pay $50 15 days before, and then another 50, like.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is.
Look, man, like 7 carried on one.
But I was just
No, I've heard that too. I like, pay it twice. And to be honest, you just got to pay it before the statement date. So if you zero your balance out, and I recommend everybody don't carry balances on your credit cards, because they make money on the interest. That's them banking on you making irresponsible behaviors. So don't carry a balance. Pay it off to zero every statement date, because guess what gets reported? Zero. So you don't owe nothing. Nothing's due. There's nothing to look at. There's nothing. If you snitch on me at zero, what's zero? I can't pay on zero. So you're good. You have no bill due, and your score will just stay where it's at. And to be honest, it shows the credit card company that you are responsible. Why? Because they see you using the card. So if you put all your bills on a credit card, which I suggest people do, if you're already going to pay the bill, put it on a credit card and just take your cash and pay off the card. So if I know I got $1,500 worth of bills every month, I'm going to take the $1,500 in cash that I have to pay off my bill itself and pay off the card. Now they see me putting $1,500 on this card every month and zeroing it out every month. That looks like a good financial relationship. You look super responsible, which you are, because you've been allocating your money correctly.
And then you can get
more money. I have faith in you. And they will give you more money because they want you to use it, but they want you to use it responsibly. Because the moment you max out, I promise you, all them banks will start looking at each other and they start doing this.
Right.
Cut, slash, limit, close card. All the time. It happens all the time.
You travel for free, right?
That's what I'm known for, you know what I'm saying? Travel for less, you know?
I'm going somewhere with this. You were out of town last week for the conference. Travel for free. What are some credit cards that give good percentage points that people could use to travel for free, just like you?
All right, so I'm going to give you guys an easy one, all right? I'm going to give you actually my top 4. That's cool? And actually, you know what I'll do for your people? I am working on, like, I'm pretty much done with it. It's a sheet of, like, the best credit cards to have in your wallet for personal.
Wow.
All right,
dope.
so that's going to be free. I could just...
Wow. You hear that?
Pase!
Team Pase podcast. Gem coming, no doubt.
It's going to be, I said it to y'all, right? So essentially, if you are building your personal profile, and if you're looking to travel, the first credit card I recommend that you have in your wallet, which is a no annual fee credit card, and it's called Bilt. BILT. Now, everybody knows my favorite credit card to talk about because it has a benefit that's unique to only this specific credit card. Now, I'm going to ask y'all a question, personal rent. Do y'all rent or own your home?
Own.
Yeah. For you renters out here, right? So for anybody who rents, typically when you pay your rent, right? Matter of fact, I'm gonna play on y'all. If you pay your mortgage, right, they just give you like, you know, a receipt, a confirmation that you paid it, and that's it, right? Yeah. That feel good?
I guess.
It feel nice.
I paid it for the month.
You gotta do it again next month, right? It feel nice, right? And this sucks. Now I'm joking. So with Bilt, right? Bilt is a card for renters. So in this case, if somebody's paying rent, typically your landlord's gonna give you a thank you receipt, and you still gonna have that broken toilet. However, with Bilt, they actually give you credit card points for the rent that you're paying. And when you use the credit card to pay for your rent, you don't have to pay any of the convenience fees or credit card fees that the online company would sometimes charge you. So for instance, if your rent was like $2,000 and you wanted to pay with a credit card, you will probably pay about 2.9% convenience fee, which could come up to like $50 maybe. I don't know. I'm not doing math right now. Instead of paying the 2.9% fee, what Bilt does is Bilt actually connects your credit card to like a ACH and to a checking and routing number that allows you to now use the e-check feature of it and not pay the fee. And now that $2,000 that you paid in rent, you'll get 2,000 points into your Bilt account that you could use with their partners for travel. So hotel, airlines, even sometimes ticket places. If you want to go to Disney, you were able to use your points to do that. So now instead of just paying your rent and getting a thank you bag, you'll get the points back because of bill, and you can use that in the future for something else that you might otherwise pay because you're already paying your rent. So at the end of the year, just hypothetically, right, you pay $2,000 a month in rent. It's 12 months in a year. That's 24,000 points that you could potentially use for a future flight with any of their partner airlines or hotels. Now, if you're using that for hotels, with Hyatt, that's about 5 nights at a Hyatt hotel, depending on which category you're staying at. Right. So if you had to go somewhere, now your rent already paid for it because you already spent that money. That's why I said earlier, like, it has to be a two-way financial relationship. Like, it has to give me something back, right? Because I'm spending the dollar anyway. What am I getting in return? So now that's the first credit card, bill. And they have a lot of partners. I can go into bill all day. Matter of fact, I will, right? So that's the first thing you do. You get no credit card fees when you pay your rent. The next thing they do is they actually report your rent for you to your credit profile so that you have now a positive reporting rent payment. So if your rent is $2,000, now you got a $2,000 payment hitting your account every single month. So if you didn't have a credit profile before, now they're reporting it for free. So that's the first thing. No points on, no fees on your rent, right? When you pay with your credit card, you get rent reporters for free. The next thing they're actually doing, I mean, like, it's a really dope program. I really only talk about dope credit card programs. Okay. The third thing, you can accumulate those points, and you can use those points to pay your rent in the future. So the points, they also work for travel, but they also work as cash back. You don't get the most bang for your buck on the cash back, but say there's a month that you know, it's kind of tight, but you've been paying your rent using the card, so now you might have 30,000 points in there. That might equal to, I don't know.
And my landlord they'll accept the points.
So what happens is, he's like, yo, let me get this. What? I'm about to rent something real quick.
I got to ask.
I ask you. So you can pay, if your landlord has a credit card portal, you can pay using that feature. If not, if you got, Mr. Winifred who only takes checks or cash, right? You can Bill has a program where they'll just write the check and send it directly to your landlord and just charge your credit card the account for it. And you still get the points. So it doesn't matter which way it goes. You can pay your rent through this card and get these free points. Okay. Then the last part, which is crazy, is that you can actually, in the future, use your points for a down payment for a house. Now, like I said, the number calculation is not always the same when it comes to the cash value. For me, the better bang for your buck with that credit card is the transfer partners for travel. But you have a plethora of options with that credit card. And that's no annual fee. So there's no like crazy credit card fee to have the card, right? That's the first one I would say. So if anybody is out there like, oh, what card should I start with? I would say a Bill credit card because you have options. Don't start using that word options.
Is it easy to get?
I mean, if your credit score, if your profile's not crazy, I wouldn't say, I would definitely not apply for it with like a whole bunch of collections lates and like closely derogatory items. I would always try to apply for a credit card with over a 680 credit score and a clean report because it just increases your options and chances of actually getting the card. If you have like a late payment and a bankruptcy last month, I would not apply for the credit card. But if you know what I'm saying, if your credit profile is clean, yeah, shoot your shot at any credit card. If your profile is clean. Okay. But that's the first one. I went all the way in on that one, right?
It's all good. Give us a couple more.
I was going before. So the next one I would say, and it really depends, right? I would say I like the Chase family, JP Morgan Chase family, right? I would say get into there. And then I also like American Express when it comes to travel, right? Because they have all these partners and relationships that you can use to leverage in different areas. So with Chase, right? Anytime I teach people how to get into credit, I'm like, yo, go low tier, get comfortable with yourself, and then you can always graduate. So there are the Chase Sapphire preferred cards. Those are the more elite cards. They look really nice when you put them down. Like you look big tings.
That Sapphire is thick. It's
big tings like wine over there, you know?
That's a heavy card.
Exactly. You look like you drop it down, you can walk away with pride, you know? So that type of credit card, they give you multipliers on certain areas. So when I go with my friends, if it's a personal dinner, I'll put down my Chase Sapphire preferred. Why? Because that card gives me 3 times the points on dining, right? They also give me 3 times the points on streaming services. So my Netflix account, things like that I'm already paying for. Let me get more bang for my buck for that because I'm going to take this vacation. I'm going to take this trip anyway, right? So why should I pay for it? Let the transaction I had made 10 months ago pay for my trip today. right? And that's really just like future planning, right? And if you're always thinking about now, then you'll never think about the future. And now you're like, oh, well, I want this now. I want this now. And it's like, yo, bro, you could have just like, it's a game of chess. So how are you positioning yourself, right? So Chase and Amex. The last one I would say, and it really depends, is either a Capital One or Citi for travel, right?
Really? Okay.
So Capital One Venture X, that credit card has a $395 annual fee, right? Well, not $295 annual fee, but they give you a $300 travel credit every year, so that you can use for any travel, Uber, restaurants, hotels, flights, right? You can use it for any travel. So now if you're going to eat anyway or fly anyway or stay somewhere anyway, that $300 can get allocated to that, and now it's essentially paid for, right? And they have other perks, plethora of perks that they have. I say Citi because Citi sometimes has some really nice sign-up bonuses, and they have good partners as well. So notice I keep saying partners. These credit card companies are partnering with other companies that serve in different industries, airline and hotel, that you can transfer these points to. And now the dollar you spent at Bobby's or you spend at the mall, now that dollar somehow circumvented back to, okay, well, it's time for us to take the kids on a birthday trip. Well, now I got 100,000 points sitting here. What can I do with that? Well, you could fly somewhere. You can stay somewhere for at least 3-4 days. And that's taken care of. So now you're not thinking about, oh, well, I don't have the money to do something for their birthday. Well, guess what? You have the points. So now let's allocate that correctly. And let's not, how should I say this? Let's not enjoy life because of money. Like, money is really shouldn't, it's the last reason why you should not enjoy yourself and be able to do things. And my favorite motto is literally, if you could travel for less, you would travel more. So I just like to teach people how to leverage their finances correctly so that you get the most out of it while you're here. Because generational wealth is cool. And people judge me when I say this, but I don't care. It's cool, but I don't want to enjoy it too. Like, my great grandkids gonna be great. Yeah. And they gonna think that I look like a shrew because I didn't enjoy none of it. Right. So if I'm here and I can allocate what I'm doing now and it not really cost me anything, why would I not just be more responsible?
Business funding. Do you have a question? I'm sorry. Let's talk about business funding. Let's talk about funding when it comes to business. Mm-hmm. Give us some hacks, some gems, some to-dos of if a young business wants to look for business funding, what do they need to do?
So it's a lot of things, right? Because I tap into the business funding world. My favorite is the travel world, though. I'm not going to lie to you because I just love to enjoy myself. Like, I love luxury experiences, all right? So when it comes to business funding, it's a similar profile.
I have a question about that, but go ahead, about the travel, but go ahead.
Okay. It's a similar model, right? Because your personal credit needs to be right. You can say this all day. If you're not going to get business funding with trash credit and no revenue, people come all the time like, yo, I just started my business yesterday. I need business credit. All right, what's your revenue? I just started yesterday. What's your credit? 500. All right, bro, you got to either have some money or good credit. You got to have one or the other. Like, I don't know. You can't. They going to look at something. They either going to look at your personal credit or your bank statements. Right. So you need to have a business that's running before you get started. That's the funding. Make money. That's people don't normally come here and say that, right? That's outlier. Nobody said that. That's the funding. You got to make money first.
Well, I mean, they said that you could get it off of your personal credit if the funding is not there yet.
If you don't have the revenue, you got to have the credit. If you don't have the credit, you got to have the revenue.
One or the other.
You got to have one or the other. Anybody think any different? Yeah. Come see me. Come see three.
They didn't say any different, so that's good. No beef.
Anybody? Well, I go on. No, so in all seriousness, you got to have one or the other, right? So when you have good personal credit, then you can leverage your personal credit relationships that you already have and revisit the banks that you're already with. So I tell people when you're going like American Express, I mentioned their profile, right? You can go get on your personal credit profile. There's a hack for y'all. Here's a gem. Personal credit profile, get the everyday Amex card. It's the clear one. It has like the blue box in the middle, right? That card has rotating categories where sometimes they'll have 4%, 3% cash back on or membership award points back on different areas, right? Now, once you're in the American Express family, guess what you can always get?
What's that?
An American Express credit card, no matter if it's business or personal. But you just got in with a low-tier card. You showed good behavior. You showed good relationships. And now you can always get an Amex card, no matter what business you have, because you already have that relationship. And I'm going to tell you right now, American Express, one of the nosiest banks in America. You think Miss Parker was nosy? Nah, American Express got her beat. They check your profile every week, every month. You can pull up your credit profile right now. If you have an American Express credit card, you can pull up your profile right now and look under your soft inquiries on Experian, and you will literally see their name once a month. Soft pull in your report. They look every month to see how your history is, your pattern. They know their relationship with you right here, but what's your relationship with him? And they're going to dictate how much money they give you based on this relationship and this one. So if you got him maxed out, but you're good, you might see them cut your limit.
Wow.
Because they peep in time all the time. So now once I'm in the door with American Express, I got that Amex Everyday Blue card. Maybe I had it for a year or two. I was good with it. Now I got a business open. Guess what? If me and him is good and me and you is good, I can go get that platinum, that blue business. I always say people, I'm going to tell you this right now. I tell people when you're going for a first business card, get the blue business plus or cash, because it's 0 interest for 12 months and it's a revolving credit card. So if you use it, you have time to pay it back with no interest. Don't shoot your shot first at a charge card, because you got to pay that balance back full every month. You got to, it's higher terms to that. Go get you a blue business. I'm shooting darts out here. Right? Get the blue business plus, blue business cash. Those and to be honest, this is an unkept secret. The blue business plus, there's a lot of B's in that, so I always gonna say it slow. The blue business plus card, that card will actually give you 2 times the points on like everyday transactions on all of them. So as a business owner, if you're spending every single day in different areas, and that area, that store is not a multiplying category, meaning you don't get multiple points for that dollar, you want to use that blue business plus card, because you'll get 2 points for every dollar you spend, no matter where it is. Dollar Tree, Bobby's. Why I keep mentioning Bobby's? It's stuck in my head.
Bobby's is a landmark.
Right? You're gonna be a sponsor.
Y'all owe me promo, right?
Imagine that. Imagine Bobby sponsors Team Talk Pase podcast.
I'm crying.
Commercial, like, in it.
Yo, crazy.
So even like, in different stores you go to, if they're not a specific multiplying category, like a pharmacy, a grocery store, then you get 2 times the points there. Now you have good behavior. You built another relationship with American Express. You have that revolving card. You're not pressured by paying off a full balance every single month. Now we'll get you a platinum and gold card and enjoy all the rest of the luxuries of those cards, right? You got more categories. You get free TSA pre-check, free clear. You get $400 from Dell every single year. You get a $200 hotel credit. You get a $200 airline credit. I keep trying to say 4, right? You get all these perks, but learn how to manage the relationship properly first. And then you can go ahead and scale up inside the Amex family.
Got you. So learn how to manage.
Yeah.
Notice I keep saying like it's all responsible.
It's all
Yep.
being responsible.
It's all
and
being
building relationships.
Either the revenue or the personal credit
Revenue or personal.
to get you into the game.
Yep. And if you start with American Express, start with the Amex Everyday Business Card, like a low tier personal credit card, because it doesn't matter where you start with them. As long as the relationship is good, you can always scale up. I went from having 1 credit card with Amex to like having 10, right? I've had American Express since 2017. I can get any card I want with them. Why? Because the relationship being solid since day one. I have no derogatories with them. My cards are always paid off. So when I went to go get my first round of funding for myself, I got a 5-piece with a biscuit.
No doubt.
Extra jelly.
No doubt.
That's what's up.
Go ahead. You had a
I
question.
was going to talk about you and the teaching as far as business credit. Now, you're a teacher. Do you teach business credit to your kids as well?
I teach them about money responsibly. So it's 7th grade. So y'all know how y'all was in 7th grade. Y'all was doing weird stuff, digging up your nose, putting gum on the chairs, goofy stuff, right? So I teach it as far as the learned behavior, because I know I'm probably going to be in their life, like in our area, they're not going to see another teacher like me for a while. So I'm just going to imprint what I can that I know will stick. Will I teach you about utilization, all that stuff? Yeah, but will that stick the most? No. I have to harp on how something made you feel, right? You normally remember how a teacher made you feel. So the teacher that made you feel bad, you don't really like them too much. But the teacher that made you feel good, every time you talk about them, you go, right? The feeling. So I teach on the feeling. I teach credit score behaviors. So 350 to 850. Every student in my class know what a 350 is and an 850. 350, 850, let's go, right? So if I say you got a 400 credit score behavior, you don't like that. Because now I associate it with being broke. I gave you a whole bunch of negative feelings with that 400 credit score. And if you acting up, I'm like, yo, come here, 400.
Oh. Okay.
So now I tie your attitude and your thinking and your behavior to this number when it comes to money. So now I affected a couple different things. Kids don't never like to be called broke. And then I just did it publicly, right? So now you low-key feeling tight, like, she called me a 400. Good. I want you to remember that. And then when you get older, I want you to remember that a 400 credit score does not make you feel good.
Make you feel good. Wow.
It does not. I want you to remember that feeling. So now I tie it back into my 750s. Oh, when my 400s have a 750 type of day, they are so excited.
That's what's up.
I'm like, yo, you acting like an 850 right now. They're like, yeah, I got this. They are geeked, right?
Okay.
Good. I want you to tie that feeling to that score, to that behavior. Now, I'm not saying that people don't get in situations where you have a 400 score. Yeah, things happen in life. You know what I'm saying? But for these kids, I need them to tie that now, because we don't learn. A lot of people didn't learn what credit score ranges were until you 22, 25, until you had to.
Right.
But not every child in my 7th grade class, what's the credit score range? 350 to 850. They know it now. What do you want to be? A 500? And one of my students, he likes to mock me all the time and say, Mr. Henriques gonna call you a 500. Why she gonna come in here? Listen. You over here acting like a 500. You got a late payment. You got a charge off. You got a collection. And he'll mock me all the time.
Wow.
How do you know that? He associates that now with bad behavior. So now when you go back to it, like, okay, this is not a good behavior. It's gonna produce a bad result. So I joke and say it, but they don't like it.
Right.
So it just stuck. And I've been doing it for like 2-3 years. It's stuck like glue.
Nah, that's an awesome.
That's very impactful.
That's huge. I know, and especially in the school system, I can't
teach it.
You
I
can't
make
teach
a lesson
it.
on it, so I gotta tie it in somewhere.
You gotta tie it in
somewhere.
Exactly. They can't stand it.
Wow.
Promise you. I
I'm
wish I recorded it, because they called me and was like, yo, Rashedah in here making fun of you. And all I hear is 500, 600, 750.
That's what's up.
I was
applaud you on that.
Thank you.
That's dope.
I know you love to travel. Tell us one of your best travel experiences from credit cards that you went for free.
Oh, all right, don't get jelly, all right? You know what I'm saying? Wagwan to my Rasta people, that, right? So it was last time I went to Jamaica for a week.
I was going to say, don't say you went to Jamaica.
I literally stayed at 3 different hotels in like a week, and I was doing reviews on all of them. And every single hotel I stayed at was better than the next. And the only time I paid for stuff was when I went and did off-field excursions. So we went to Dolphin Cove, and we went to jet skiing and all that stuff. That stuff I paid for. But outside of it, we stayed flew. They upgraded my flight. All right, I'm a joke, right? Okay, I'm a joke, right? I call like certain parts of the plane general population, and I don't really like to sit there too much. So I like sitting in Gem Pop, right? No offense.
Okay.
GP?
Okay.
Yeah,
You upgraded,
not me. So because I've been able to leverage my points, I have certain status with hotels and certain status with airlines. So 9 times out of 10, my seat is gonna get moved up. Like, I'm gonna get upgraded. Now, I flew to Jamaica. They upgraded me on the way there. So I had bought an economy ticket. I sat Comfort Plus, which was cool. I had more space. On the way back, they upgraded me back to first. So paid for a regular flight, got upgraded to first class, got my drink, I was lit, right? Super lit. Matter of fact, when I went to the Bahamas, they upgraded me to first class. And I ended up sitting next to a prosecutor for the Brooklyn DA's office. We just got drunk the whole thing. We had like 4 or 5 mimosas. You never know who you meet in first class. And that's why I'm like, yo, you got to get me there, right? So go back to Jamaica. So like I said, my flight got upgraded there. So that I paid 26,000 miles round trip for that. And it was about Jamaica's taxes and fees were $143. So I didn't pay for the flight itself. You have to pay for the tax and fees. So that's what I paid. The hotel, when I checked in, they checked us into this lounge. The first hotel I stayed at was the Royalton in Trelawney. That hotel, I ended up getting a really good deal on it because it was, don't quote me on it. I want to say it was about 80,000 points, and I had enough for like 3 nights. So I used that. I had a walkout room to the pool because they upgraded me because I had status with Marriott. And I had the walkout one, the pool outside. So you walk out. And then I got the butler service. The butler was dope. Wow. The food there was okay, but the hotel was phenomenal, right? So we went off. We went to Trinidad. We was driving around. I had my the driver that I normally use when I go to Jamaica, and it was great. Then we went to the Hilton Rose Hall. Hilton Rose Hall food was busting. Right? I got Hilton Diamond status there. So then they upgraded us to the room with the view of the whole thing. So we had a nice little corner balcony and we could see the whole coastline of Jamaica, right? Typically, the room that we supposed to have on the 2nd floor, we got the room on like the 7th floor. I like views. I don't want to see the garbage pan. Like, don't give me that. That's going to ruin my trip.
Right.
So that was that. So that's another 2-3 days. So now we only Jamaica. That's $143. That's all I paid so far. I'm on day 5. Then we went and stayed at the Royalton in the Grill. I wanted to stay at another hotel out there, but the Grill is one of my favorite places in Jamaica because the food there, I don't know why. To me, it's the best food in Jamaica. And that's personal preferences, okay? So we stayed at the Royalton in the Grill. Again, beautiful room. Got the walkout pool, again, upgraded. And, I mean, just the flight, $143. I stayed at 5-star. This all-inclusive 5-star hotels. And we paid nothing. I used what my points gave me already.
Wow.
And that was a week. If you paid for that,
that's beautiful.
If you paid for that, each hotel was like $900. The Royaltons are at least at least $900 a night because I had the swim out room and I had the butler, and then the Hilton was at least $300-400. So that'd have been at least $5,000 on hotels alone that I didn't pay.
All because of you being disciplined.
Because I'm disciplined on how I use my points and how I'm able to get them.
What are some of the reactions of the people at the front desk when you walk in and they have the profile, they see what you're getting?
Oh, they know. They just say thank you for being a platinum member.
Okay.
And then you get the perks of being a platinum member. They know what it is. If you pay cash, I'll get treated way better than you. And I'm all about having great experiences, right? When you pay cash, you show no loyalty. I pay points. I have all the loyalty. If I have this many points, I'm loyal.
You're loyal.
I'm like a puppy. I'm a trained golden retriever.
Yes, you're loyal.
I'm loyal. So they show that loyalty and love.
So they give it back. They reciprocate it back.
So you might have had to sit out at the front desk at that stiff chair. They put me in the lounge with the free buffet and already brought my drink. And
it's not many of us. When you walk into these rooms,
it's not a lot of people.
It's not a lot of.
It's never really that crowded.
Well, I mean, like, if it is crowded, it's not a lot of us.
Oh no, not at all. Even in the lounges, like when we go to the airline lounges, I can see it now in different cities and more urban cities. People are really starting to really understand and leverage. Okay. But generally, it'd be like a couple of us in there.
So we need to get in these rooms and really,
I'm telling you, it's all about how you start your transactions. It's like it's just if you are responsible, there's a plethora of things you could do that you want to do anyway, and you could do it for way less money. So it just makes sense.
And now you're teaching this.
Yes.
Talk to us a little bit about that.
So, I mean, I'm on a mission, man. Like I said, if you could travel for less, you would travel more. So why would you not do what you got to do in order to get that goal? So I teach that, on social media. I teach that in person. I teach that online. Like, let's start getting it together because, like I said, the myths spread faster than the truths. If somebody say, oh, this is a scam, that's the number one news. But the reason why it's a scam never goes viral. Oh, this is a scam. Well, why did you say that? Oh, what's the real meaning behind this? Oh, it's because you did this. Credit is bad. Well, why is it bad? Oh, because you live beyond your means. You try to show your money instead of actually have it. Like, oh, that's why it's bad. So that's why it's bad for you. But because I'm able to leverage and move how I move, and I teach people the same way. Notice I'm not saying go blow a bag, and also I'm not saying go run it up, right? I'm like, yo, be responsible with what you have, and you'll get more. But if you're not responsible with $10 and you get 1,000, you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna be in a worse situation.
Powerful. Before you get out here, talk to us about your verses. Thing that you got going on.
Please do.
We almost finished. All right, let me tell y'all.
How did this idea start? Like, this is just dope. Tell the people about it.
Listen, so the verses, right? And I know you think about this music. So I created the first ever financial literacy verses where entrepreneurs can literally get in the ring, and I built out an actual ring, get in the ring and literally talk they stuff. Like, what do you know? What's your expertise? And give game on it in a combative and competitive manner. Now, it's no physical altercations. It's intellectual jabber, right? At its finest form. So we were able to create an environment where, if you wanted to learn 2 different topics at the same time, you could. So the first time we did it was MLK weekend. We ran it at the Roulette Theater, and we had 2 different type of sessions. So the first one was a Royal Rumble. We made Team Turtle versus Team Airbnb. And each round was catered to different questions that people asked and frequently answered questions that I put out. And also, like, what do people want to know about these industries that apply to both? So one round was like, how not to get finessed by a guest. You see Turo horror stories all over the place. Right. How does a person not be that horror story? So we made that a round. You see Airbnb horror stories all over the place. There's one lady trying to get this lady out her second bedroom to this day, right? How do you make it that doesn't happen to me? We made that a round, and we had Deuce Walls and Trills. On the Trail side, my guys defending their cars, and we had Chance and Gigi defending their cribs. And they were going back and forth on like, man, you do that, make a little couple dollars. You come over here, we get I mean, it was literally one of my favorite bars of the whole thing was, I got kicked out of recess because I don't play, right? That was the funniest thing I heard the whole time. But it was literally going back and forth on what not to do in the industry, but you learned it at the same time. Now, at the end, they're like, you had people saying, Turo. They said Turo one. They said Airbnb. I don't know. All I know is that y'all got the game. And y'all got it at a master class level at one time. And we were able to do that for the credit round as well. We gave them, pure gems. Like, it's 10 rounds. So you got 10 rounds from me, 10 rounds from my opponent. And I'm competitive, so I don't want to lose. So I'm going to give you my best stuff. I'm not holding back. Because if I hold back, I'm going to lose, right? And that's how I really want to think, like, how can we get people to learn in a fun and competitive way? So let's throw people in the ring.
That's what's up. Wow. I would love to cover that event one day.
Yeah, we definitely have.
We want to talk about that. Honestly, that series of conversation we're gonna have. Actually, it's in my notes.
So,
cool.
You created this verse.
Yes.
That's
verses.
Yes. If anybody else does it after,
you see, she was in Atlanta. She had a whole.
I had my referee because they wanted to have a versus type thing there, and out of respect, they asked me to ref it because I created the verses. Nobody else had done it.
Wow.
That's what's up, man.
So
that's big.
That is huge.
I want to help you build this.
Yeah.
Let's go. I'm serious.
Where did
talk after the cameras go?
No doubt.
I mean, the idea obviously came from verses.
It came from the verses. Like, the idea was sparked from it, and I'm not throwing any shade to anything, right? I'm like, it was 1 billion people watching that. And I feel like that would have been an opportunity to tell an artist, like, yo, this is not how you get, this is how you can protect yourself from a bad record deal. Like, some piece of information, because we love being entertained, and I love that for us, right? But it's like, yo, come on, our community has been pushed back so far for so long. Like, let's get together and talk about money. Remember, I told you in the beginning, like, it's not till I started saying, like, yo, my credit messed up, that everybody started opening their mouth and saying, like, yo, mine too. Because that shame of, oh, well, I'm supposed to look like big bad dog. I'm supposed to be this big person. Right. It's like, yo, listen, everybody got a bad story. You really like that person that was the underdog. Like, everybody roots for the underdog. And you could be the underdog for yourself. Right. So because of that, I'm just like, yo, let's make an environment where we can learn in the same way that we love to talk smack. I'm from New York. Yeah. We talk trash all day.
All day.
And you play ball.
And I play ball. So it was like, yo, it was teaching. I'm from New York and I play ball. So come on, you're going to hear the most jabber there. And guess what? I was my best self when I was playing ball, and it was super competitive. So why not learn in that same arena? Like, it's the blueprint has already been there. The gladiator stadiums back in Roman days were filled. Why? Because we love competition. So let's put that into education and start learning the game.
Beautiful.
Wow. This is amazing. Like, your vision for financial literacy is amazing.
Yeah. Thank you.
And what really struck me is when you mentioned the whole fact that how you, in a classroom setting, with the kids, because you know how to relate to them. Yeah, that's dope. So I definitely applaud you on that. You have a gift.
Thank you.
That's
great. Gem.
We definitely got to go down to that versus.
Now we're gonna get that. We're gonna set that up.
Yeah, we got.
Heard it here first.
Yeah. Here's just a random question because I know you're a baller. I just want to get your take on the LSU, the ladies that won.
Oh yeah,
the
phenomenal game. I haven't watched basketball.
Just wanted your take.
I haven't watched basketball in so long, and that was probably the first game, men's, women's, professional, non-professional, G League, and one, anything that I've watched in like 5 years. Gotcha. Besides when I went to a Lakers game, I had got courtside tickets. But outside of that, like actually watched on TV, the Final Four of the women's was phenomenal.
Yeah, their coach is lit too. Like
Kim Mulkey's a beast.
Oh,
she's so passionate.
Kim Mulkey,
she's extremely passionate.
Wow,
yeah, she's a beast. She's a beast, and she's when I played college, and she was She was at Baylor. Like, she was always solid. So, I mean, like, I watched the game and you can see that when I played college sports, the times where we were the most functional was when we gelled the most. And you could see that amongst the team. They truly enjoy each other. They truly had each other's back. They were communicating. They were inspired. So you could see them covering the weak side, blind side. They was doing everything they were supposed to do. And they were executing at a high level. They were confident in what they were doing, right? And you could tell that was just like practice and energy. Because South Carolina, they were 40-0. They were perfect, right? And I ain't gonna lie, I wanted them to do it. I wanted Dawn to take it all away and hit that 40, right? And hit that just like Baylor did when Kim Mulkey had them when Brittany Griner was there, right?
Okay.
It's how, I used to watch back in the day. I chilled out. Wow. And I wanted them to do it. But for me, when I was watching it, I'm like, dang, I don't think they're gonna win this, because their game was so tied to the paint that they didn't really have an outside game like LSU do. LSU was really balanced.
Yeah, they were
like
balanced
all the way around. You got Angel in the paint doing her thing, and you got that teammate that Jasmine, I think her last name is Clark, she had a blonde hair, came out. She 5 for 5 in the first half. Didn't score another point in the second half. But Angel, the other teammate, came and had 19. Like, it was good balance. Like, all right, yo, if you fall down, I got your back. And that's essentially like, as a team, you supposed to be. True. And if, to be honest, as a family, you should be that way too. So I loved it. It was excellent, phenomenal. And I also love that she got that money on that NIL. Facts. Because y'all should also be making sure that your freaking flyer miles are tagged to your accounts all the time. I don't care what check you get. I was getting NIL before the NIL.
Give us that hack that you showed us when we was at the conference with the credit card. Let them know about that before you get out of here. Quick.
I got so many. All right, quick. So I was on the insurance. Yes. All right. So this is why I say your transaction has to start the correct way. You're already paying for a cell phone. Everybody in here has an iPhone, Android, Nextel, something, right? You got Nextel, that's crazy. so
here I am saying, Nextel. I know what Nextel is.
The whole city
Star
behind
Treks,
you.
Motorola's. Yep. Showing my age. Go ahead.
Where you at, right? So if you have that, right, you want to make sure that you're paying that cell phone bill with a credit card that gives you cell phone insurance. Now, more than likely, a Visa signature card in your wallet will give you that insurance. Some MasterCard World Elite credit cards will give you that insurance. If you look at the credit card right by the Visa logo, it will say signature. If it says signature or infinite, that credit card will give you cell phone insurance very similar to the one that you're paying for. 2 claims a year, $50 deductible. It's very similar. So instead of paying that $30 a month to that credit card company or to whatever it is, you can literally just make sure that you're starting your transaction for that cell phone bill on that credit card that will give you the benefits. So if anything happened to your phone, you make the claim directly to your credit card company, and you can save yourself like $300 a year.
Man,
wow.
Bars. No more after this. No more. You gotta go find it. You gotta
rewinding, pause. Take a lot
and there's
of people taking notes.
You gotta go find it.
Oh man, the bucket.
One more question before we
go ahead. I'm just getting ready.
I did ask you this in Philly. Have you found your purpose? You think you found your purpose through this?
Teaching, man. Like I learned this when I sold insurance, like way back in the way. When I got excited about teaching something and I was able to convey my message, oh man, like I get hype. And it doesn't matter for me, like if I'm in a classroom with 7th graders, if I'm in a classroom with an adults, when I'm teaching and the information gets across and that light bulb goes off, I get super excited.
Yeah, because I see like you're really passionate. You're not just,
Oh no, this is me all day.
This is you all day.
Every day. When we were at the conference.
Yeah.
I was like that the whole 7 hours we were there.
I was watching like,
it's like a bunny.
High energy.
All the time. Energy. I mean, I'm around 7th graders regularly, so I normally mirror them. But this is just me. Honestly, it's been me since I was like 5. My mom told me I need to chill.
Nah, just
be you. Now you can tell your wagwan mom.
Yo, she know wagwan.
Yeah, wagwan.
All right, time for the
oh God.
Secret question.
Secret question?
Yeah.
Let's see.
You know what I'm saying? There's something in here.
Not that.
Caribbean basket. Handmade basket.
Handmade Caribbean basket.
You got the strawberry candy in there next?
Yes.
Yo, you know what I'm talking about?
What a friend's kid.
Oh.
Got a good one?
This is a bad one.
What you got?
Can you live without a cell phone?
Ooh.
Can I live? Yes. Most efficiently, no. I use my phone for a lot. It keeps me pretty much organized. If alarm don't go off at a certain time, I'll lose track. So can I live without a cell phone? Yeah, I'll breathe. I'll eat fine. I could cook. You know what I'm saying? You know, Auntie told me how to do the spices, so I'm fine. I don't need YouTube for everything. Can I live? Yes. Will I be the most efficient person I could be? No.
Great answer. Great answer.
I want you kind of out. Does iPad count? 'Cause I could do it. iPad.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't count.
Last ball before you get out of here. There go your camera right there.
This one?
Yeah.
All right,
Yep.
this one.
Speak to
This
the
one's
people.
for you. Number one. All right. So my last bar before I leave here, right? I gave you guys a lot. I'm going to give you the last part to it, right? So here's the gem for y'all. I talked about the Bilt credit card, and this recently happened. Initially, when Bilt came out with their credit card platform, they said, all right, if you have your rent is up to 50,000 points or dollars for the year, that's where we're going to cap you at. So that means that if you have 60,000 that you pay in rent a year, I don't know who does that now, but if you had 60,000 points that you pay in the rent per year, we're going to cap you at 50. You can't get no more points, right? But they just actually increased it to 100,000 points. That means that if you're paying 8,000 a month in rent, I'm not saying that you are, but if you're that person, now you can get the full stretch of these points that you can leverage and use in other ways. 100,000 points. I'm gonna tell y'all how you're gonna use those, right? You can get 2 business class flights on Qatar. You can get 100,000. You can get 5 nights at the Bellagio in Las Vegas. A lot of things you could do. And another place you could actually go to know how to use these points for hotels is this website called Awayz, AWAYZ, as in Z. Right? That website will actually help you allocate your points correctly when you book your next vacation. So now that you're paying rent and you're getting these points, what do you do with it? Well, you're going to use a website called Awayz, AWAYZ, and that website will help you to use your points correctly when you're booking your next vacation. So now your vacation's not on you, it's on them.
Wow. Rob, don't you just love interviewing people that are just in their purpose? I mean, it just feels good, doesn't it?
That's a double bar?
I'm amazed, man.
Nah, because you just like, you give her the mic, you just let her go, you let her rip. It's just dope.
She's
Yeah.
ready right now.
You're focused. I'm so happy we met you, man, and we're definitely gonna work together on so many different platforms and so many different.
The next
ways.
verses is coming out. We literally.
We gotta work. We gotta work.
So
We
literally-
gotta work.
You trying to do it like once a month or like?
I want to do it 3 times a year.
Got you.
3 times a year. The next one's literally coming probably late June, early July. We just literally locking in a date. We're gonna see this. We're gonna go see the site visit.
Late
like,
June, early July, big event happening.
Late June, early July.
Late June, early July.
We may have to skip that one and go.
I'm getting married. I'm getting married early July. Late June.
Late June.
Late
We
June.
work it out.
We work it out.
I need glad there.
Yeah. I gotta be there. I gotta be there.
Party. We go.
Yeah, right. After party versus.
I need to be glad. That glad is there.
Glad. Why glad?
Thanks again.
Nah, that's
Shedah
what's up.
3 in the building.
Shedah
No
3,
doubt.
thank
Let
you so
them know
much.
where they can find you.
Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all, right, I can live without my cell phone, but Instagram is where I'm at most times. So if you're gonna see me, if you want to follow me, ask me any questions, hit me up on IG. I forgot to spell my name. SHEDAH3. All right, Shedah 3. My name is Rashedah, but everybody on social media knows me as Shedah 3. So if you hit me up on there, I answer my DMs like twice a week fully. I go through it. So hit me up on there if you got questions, anything I said today. And make sure when I give them the link for you guys to go through your personal credit profile and what cards you should have and what the benefits are, that you guys go ahead and download that. That's on me, y'all. I want to make sure we building our credit responsibly. We're being more financially responsible because there's a lot of things out here, but if you don't have the right information, you can't go ahead and get on it, man.
And tell them why 3.
Wow.
My jersey number in college was 3, man.
No
Come
doubt.
on. My favorite player was D Wade and Ray Allen combined. I mimic my game after them. So that's pretty much what it was.
You got a Jimmy?
You know what I'm saying? I'm old now, but my jumper was nice back in the day.
Okay.
I'm retired now. So I'm not gonna get back.
Traveling.
I'm a retired traveler. I travel, and that's what I do.
Well, I just see y'all play ball together.
Never.
You're gonna lose.
Yeah, pretty much. With my knees, I'm not. You should catch me in the paint
I'm
and some
literally
rap.
retired. I don't play. I'll coach though. I'll coach. I play your good screen.
Because women's basketball is different now. It's changed.
Oh, it's way different than when I played.
Yeah. I remember now.
They play with
back then,
lashes
it
and
was-
stuff. I couldn't do that. I can't even play with nails.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
It's a fashion show. It's / basketball.
It's big.
It's big.
It's big production.
Nah,
Rob,
that's what's up. I love it.
housekeeping items.
Housekeeping items. Team Sock Pase all day. Team Sock Pase. It was Sock Pase.
This is Joel's favorite part, by the way.
Yeah, this is Joel's favorite
He's
part.
like, this guy never gets it right.
He never gets it right. No, I love it. But Team Sock Pase, that's me. It's organic. You know what I'm saying? I'm not reading.
You'll get it right one day.
Yeah, one day. I don't care. So Team Sock Pase,
Joel
YouTube,
look at him, he's
Team
cracking
Sock
up.
Pase, Instagram. Remember, subscribe, share, comment below. Subscribe, share, comment below. Shedah 3, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Also, shout out to the New York Beauty Suites, Roots for Brooklyn, Sweet Double 100.
Oh. This is gonna go viral.
Yeah.
Team Sock Pase podcast.
We out.
I said I'm trying to rush you. Didn't I say you? I told